Hello, everyone, and welcome back to What After Dentistry. Now, you guys have been asking us questions related to the field of pharmacovigilance after BDS, how to get into this field, what kind of work is done in this field, and so on and so forth. So, to discuss the scope and opportunities in the field of pharmacovigilance today, we have with us Dr. Neema Bisht, who is working as a senior pharmacovigilance officer in a reputed MNC since last 4 years. She loves to learn new things and keeps herself updated related to the current industry trends and advancements. She's also been helping fresh graduates who want to get into this field of pharmacovigilance after the completion of BDS or MDS. While shooting this video with her, I got to know a lot of details and especially the fact that this field is a blessing, especially to female dentists. Want to know how? Have a look at the video. Hi, Dr. Neema. It's a pleasure to have you on our channel today, What After Dentistry, to talk about the scope and opportunities in the field of pharmacovigilance after BDS or MDS. So, welcome you once again.
Thank you, Dr. Shireen. And first of all, I would like to say thanks to you for inviting me here. And other thing is, I would appreciate the initiative which you people have taken because in current scenario, lot of information is there out, but it's because of lot of information and all that, everyone is confused. So like you guys are providing the true and authentic content. So like it's very valuable for all the dentists over there. So yeah, I highly appreciate this thing.
Thank you so very much. So, before we get into the formal discussion of how to get into this field and what is the process, we would like to know how did you generate your interest towards the field of pharmacovigilance?
So, Dr. Shireen, to be very frank, I had no interest. So, before joining this field, obviously. So, how all this started, when I was practicing my dentistry, I was running my own clinic. So, and the thing is, I joined this industry after 8 years of gap. I ran my own clinic for the 8 years, okay. But in the middle of running my clinic, I was having an idea like I have to do something else and I have to switch my field because I was not able to generate that income. Like most of the people, they can do like, but for me, it was I was not able to generate. So that was in my mind what to do, but because of lack of guidance and some lack of awareness from my side also, I was not able to get the field where I can switch. So in 2017, like I was seriously looking for all other opportunities, and I got an opportunity in an institute. I registered there, and then I did a diploma course in clinical research and pharmacovigilance in 2017. And then in 2018, I got a job also, and from there I started this journey. But after coming to this industry, I have now interest in this. I have built that interest because it's very interesting field because it's all related to drug and disease. We already read about pharmacology, drug and disease, so it's all correlated with our dentistry, our pharmacology part which we read there. So yes, it's a very interesting field.
So, since you mentioned about the field of clinical research, we have also heard
Mhm.
that this field is also there. So, we would like to know what is the difference between pharmacovigilance and clinical research, or is it a part of clinical research?
Yeah, correct, Dr. Shireen. They are interconnected field actually. Clinical research is the main field and all others are the sub fields. They are all verticals of the clinical research only. Clinical research, it's a main thing, and from that there will be pharmacovigilance, medical writing, regulatory affairs, and many more verticals are there. So all are interconnected. These are not separate fields.
Okay, okay. So,
Yeah.
to understand it for the audience, it looks like clinical research is the main field, and then if you want to, subspecialize within that field, pharmacovigilance
Yes.
is one such, subspecialization, right?
Yes, true, Dr. Shirin. Like pharmacovigilance basically means like we continuously keep a watch on a drug. So a continuous vigilance goes to for a drug, and it occurs through while during running the clinical trial also. Like when the clinical trials, the pharma companies they conduct the clinical trial, then also pharmacovigilance is required. And after once the drug is in market, after approval of the clinical trial, then also this pharmacovigilance activity is required.
Okay.
So yeah, that is the main thing.
Okay. So how can one start to, work in this field after BDS?
See, there are three ways to get entry. I would not say ways, but it depends on the candidate. See, first of all, if any BDS is freshly passed out from the college, and that candidate is very sure that they don't want to continue with dentistry, then they can directly search for jobs in this field. Because nowadays, what pharma companies are doing, they are giving preference to dentists, BHMS, BAMS, because definitely these people and we dentists have a sound medical knowledge as compared to pharma graduates. So they are giving preference to us. So if any BDS is freshly passed out from college, they can directly apply. And if any candidate want to know more about the field before entering, okay, then they can go for a diploma course in clinical research and pharmacovigilance, and after that they can get entry. Okay, and other thing is like candidate like me, like I started after 8 years of gap. Okay, so I did this course because after practicing 8 years into dentistry, then that lack of confidence also comes. Like entering into corporate field, it's not a easy thing. So to build that confidence and to know more about the field, I did the diploma, and it helped me a lot actually getting job also, because whenever we are going for interview in a corporate world, so they always look for your confidence level also along with your knowledge level.
Right.
So it helps. Diploma, if you do diploma, then it will help definitely.
Okay.
And other thing is like if you have any connections in pharma fields, maybe your friend, family friend, anyone, you can contact them also, because pharma field is now emerging, and many recruitment are going on because of this vaccine trials and all.
Right, absolutely correct. So now when you mentioned about the diploma courses, which are the good institutes in India which can provide this course?
See, institute are many, and one thing I would like to share here, because of my mistakes which I did, I went for a 1 year course. Okay, in 2017, I did 1 year course, and the amount was also very huge at that time. But because of lack of awareness and guidance, I was not aware of this thing, because after finishing the diploma, I realized that this much duration is not required, because it's a very small topic. Just to get entry, it's a very small topic, and with minimal information, you can get entry and you can crack the interview very easily. So any institute which is providing 2 to 3 months of diploma, you can go for that. No need to do any PG course and 1 year, 2 year, not required at all. Because the basic things what they will check, just a basic overview of the field, okay. And other thing, they will check your confidence level and your extra skills. They will check IT skills, computer knowledge. They will check, okay, because anyhow they will train you in the field itself. So no need of doing going for 1 year of course. Just do 2 to 3 months of diploma. Whatever institute is providing you that 2 to 3 months diploma, just take that in diploma and then get entry.
Okay. Fair enough. And when you mentioned that, one can work directly with the pharma companies into this sector.
Mhm.
So if somebody applies directly, will they be given formal training on board?
Yes, yes. Once they hire us, it's a proper training they provide for 6 months for freshers. It's a proper training, and not just freshers. Suppose now I'm experienced. So a few months back I have switched my company. So again the new company is also giving me training. So I'm under training now. So it's training every time for freshers as well as for experienced also.
Fair enough. So, all you audience, if you want to get into this field, there are two routes that you can choose. One is you go for a diploma course, which is like 2 months or 3 months, as per the suggestion of Dr. Nima, or you can directly work with the pharma companies in this sector. They will give you a formal training on board, which is for a period of 6 months, so that you get hands-on, experience of what pharmacovigilance field is all about and what kind of work you will be doing in this particular field. I think I've summed it correctly, right?
Yes, yes, great. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely correct.
So, what kind of skills are required from a fresher, especially because when we are doing our dental education, the kind of work that we do, the kind of skills that we do are totally different from a corporate world or something like a clinical research or a pharmacovigilance kind of a sector. So, what kind of skills are required if one wants to directly work with a company?
Okay, so the first basic thing is a little bit of computer knowledge you should have. I'm not saying that you should be master and everyone understands. Like when I joined, it was bit challenging for me. So little like Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint presentation, those things you should know. And one main thing is be flexible and be open for any challenge. Okay, suppose if you selected for any company, then there are shifts job also. So be flexible, be open, and it's entirely different from the work we did in dentistry. So be open for that. If you go with that mindset, then definitely you will able to adapt there. And yeah, flexible, open, and don't be rigid and leave your dentistry behind.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely
absolutely.
your knowledge will be that you will be using it, but that typical set of mindset of doctors and all, that should not be there. And be open to learn from anyone, because there might be some PSC people also there. So might be you think like it's just this person is just a BSc guy, or no, I'm BDS. And maybe that complex thing will also may come like he knows more than me in computer things and all. So just be open to learn from anyone at any point of time. Okay.
Right, absolutely correct. I think that's corporate world, as very correctly mentioned, is totally different from what we have been practicing or what we have been taught in dentistry. So yes,
Yes.
absolutely correct. We have to be open, we have to be flexible, and of course a little bit of basic computer skills. And are these tools like MS Office, are these also required on daily basis, that you need to work on these tools?
Not, I would say, daily basis. Like we have a different kind of software here, database is different. But to become efficient in your work, if you are very efficient working in Excel and PowerPoint presentation, then definitely your way of working will be efficient. You will work more faster. So
Right,
that thing becomes easy when you come to job. Okay.
right.
So yeah, basically, yeah. And see, with practice also, that thing comes, fastness and all.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
basic you should know. Yeah, when you will come to job, then definitely that fastness and efficiency will increase.
Absolutely correct. So now, when you mentioned that a fresher can apply for an entry level job in pharmacovigilance, what are the portals which can help them to get this job? How can they seek entry level jobs in this field?
So the first most important portal is LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is a very professional portal, and be active on LinkedIn. Make a good profile there. You can paste a logo, open to work. You can just follow anyone from the industry. Okay, anyone. Just any dentist who is in the industry, you can follow that person. You can copy his or her profile. You can see how that person is going, what all posted that person is liking and all those things. So, and update your resume also there, and all those things you mentioned there. And be active on LinkedIn, because most of the jobs come there only. And nowadays what recruiter are doing, to save their time and money, the companies also directly picking people from there in LinkedIn itself. So LinkedIn, the most important is LinkedIn. Another is Naukri. So update your profile in Naukri also. Update your CV there. Okay, and there also you can do like open for work, immediate joiner. Some kind of key points should be there. Clinical research, pharmacovigilance. So your shortlisting of your CV will become easy.
Right.
And Indeed is also a good website. Indeed, Naukri, and LinkedIn. These three.
Okay. And what should be the designations, or what should be the title of the job that one should look for?
So, as a fresher, you should be searching for safety associate, pharmacovigilance officer, pharmacovigilance associate, data analyst. Like in different companies, the name of the designation is different, but responsibility is same. Just these are the titles, different designation name as per the company. Okay, so
Okay.
these four five title you can look for.
Fair enough. And we would also like to understand what is the kind of work that one has to do when they start working in this field.
So the main thing is completely a sitting job. Okay, so 8 to 9 hours you have to be with your laptop only. Okay, typical sitting job, typical corporate kind of job, and the basic work which I am doing. I mean, just I will give you an overview, like what we have to do in pharmacovigilance. We have a database. You can say like it's a software where we do patient's entry. Patient entry means we get adverse event reports of patients. Suppose if I'm working for a company where my client is Johnson and Johnson, okay, so the drug which the patient is taking, Johnson Johnson drug, and if any adverse event happens to the patient, then Johnson and Johnson will send us a report of the patient with all the adverse event which happened to the patient, and with medical history, drug history, and everything. Okay, and when the event happened, how the event happened, what happened after taking the drug, what was the severity of the adverse event. So all those entry we have to made into the database, data entry it is, and after that we have to give a summary. We have to generate a narrative, okay, based on our conclusion, and we have to conclude also, like if the event happened due to drug or it was any patient disease factor or any medical history or drug history. And above us will be the medical reviewer. So medical reviewer, MBBS and an MD people. Okay, so yeah, so final call will be there. So final conclusion they do, but before that we have to give our assessment also. And in few companies, to cut the cost, what they are doing, in place of medical reviewer, MBBS, MD, they are hiring nowadays. They are hiring BDS also to cut the cost. Because suppose if they're paying 10 lakhs package to MBBS, then they will hire a BDS, maybe in 6 to 7 lakh package they will hire a BDS to cut the cost. Okay, so this is the basic rule here which we are doing.
I think that's fair enough. And if a fresh MDS graduate applies in this field or wants to work in this field, are they given preference?
Unfortunately, no, not in pharmacovigilance. Because see, in pharmacovigilance, if you are starting as a fresher like I did, so they are not taking your dental practice or whatever practice you have done, like BDS, MDS. Also, they are not considering that thing as an experience. So they are hiring as a fresher. So it doesn't matter for them if you are BDS or MDS. Okay, definitely, yeah, knowledge will be more for MDS people, but yeah, hiring process, the same designation will be given to the MDS also. But yes, there is a field called medical writing in clinical research. So in medical writing, they give preference to postgraduates. Postgraduates like in pharmacy or in dentistry also, they will hire MDS, they will hire M Pharma people or PhD people. So in medical writing, definitely they have edge. MDS, they have edge in medical writing field. But again, in medical writing field, very few vacancies comes. So, like bulk of the vacancies comes in pharmacovigilance and clinical research only. So, medical writing, very few opening comes, maybe like 2 to 3 openings in a year. So you can't wait for the just medical writing thing. What you can do for MDS people, you can just get entry into pharmacovigilance or clinical research, and after working there, you can look for medical writing position also. So I mean, this is the way you can jump from there to medical writing, and then you will get a hike also, pay hike, good hike you will get.
I think that's fair enough. So all you MDS
Mm.
graduates, if you want to work in this sector, you can work as she correctly mentioned, you can work as a fresher at the entry level and then look out for better opportunities like in the medical writing where you can get better pay and of course you will get better, kind of work profile. So absolutely correct. It's just that matter of fact that you have to get into the field, you have to grab the
Correct.
opportunity to get the next better opportunity. Yes,
Correct.
absolutely.
Correct.
So now, we would like to know, like, at the entry level, what is the average salary that a BTS fresher can expect?
So as a fresher, you can start somewhere between 20 to 30,000. Okay, so it varies depending on the companies. Okay, some companies are paying 25, some are giving 30 also. So depending on the company, you can get anywhere between 20 to 30,000 as a fresher. And the good thing is within 6 months, they will increase that also. Okay, so like for the 6 months, you will be like a temporary role, you will be there, and after that, once you will be in a permanent role, after 6 months, they will increase salary. And you know what? Like in my 4 years of career, the salary in which I have started, I am now getting more than double. So like as that point of view, also it's a very good industry. To get a good amount of money and all those things are good there.
Right. And also keeping pandemic in mind, are there work from home options in this field?
Yeah, great. I mean, pandemic is the only thing like I am very lucky that pandemic happened, because in a personal level, I'm having a 2-year-old daughter. So having after my daughter only, after few months only, this pandemic started, and I am doing work from home from last 1.5 year. I'm doing work from home, and from most of the companies, what they are doing now, they are giving this permanent work from home thing. So the company which I am now, Apsar, I'm into Apsar. So for me now, it's permanent work from home. So like you can imagine now, now I'm taking care of my daughter also, and now I'm doing permanent work from home role. So it's a very good industry for that aspect, for especially for females. They can balance both the things.
Absolutely correct. So all you female dentists, if you are looking for, options to kickstart your career after, say, having a maternity break, or in case you just want to have a work-life balance, then I think pharmacovigilance is a good option if you want to get into this field, because as she mentioned, there are permanent work from home opportunities also coming, and most of the companies, most of the organizations are now looking for this kind of a setup. So yes, absolutely correct. Now, moving ahead, we would like to know, like, are there opportunities abroad in this field as well?
Yes, yes, lot of opportunities are there. See, mostly pharma companies for which we are working here in India, all are outside companies only. Because this pharmacovigilance concept is very new to India. Like India is not a very active candidate for pharmacovigilance activities. So all those reports, everything which we are getting is outside reports, outside countries reports only, like United States, all European countries, Japan, China. So it's very good opportunities are there, especially if you get a job in India, and after working for 1 to 2 years, you can go for an intra company transfer. Within company they will transfer you. Okay, so it's a very good field in that aspect, and without then without expending so much money, or getting that certificate, that license and all, which happens usually because you can't work with a BDS degree outside. So yes, you can get into this job, and after working for 1 to 2 years, you can get an intra company transfer. So directly you can do job there.
That's fair enough, and that's a very
Mm.
good thing. If somebody can get an intra
Mm.
company transfer, I think that's a very, very good thing.
And this intra-company transfer is not, I'm just saying like that, is happened with few of my colleagues. So they are doing like they did 1 to 2 years, they worked here in India, and now they're in US in the same company. So like transfer happens.
I think that's a very good thing. So, what is the biggest advantage that you have gained while working in this field for almost like 4 years now?
The biggest advantage is, now I'm more versatile, because during my dentistry, what I feel now, I was stuck there. So when I came to this field, now I'm more versatile. Now I'm open. I'm now more open to new learnings. Okay, new learnings, and I'm side along with job. I am managing other things also, like looking for some extra source of income. So after coming to this field has broadened my mindset. First thing is that, because initially I was thinking that I was stuck into dentistry, and I was not able to get money also. So yeah, this field has it made me multitasker, and it broadened my mindset. And other thing is, now I'm more flexible, and technology wise also I have now grown a lot. Eh, so, and communication, my communication also has improved a lot now, as compared to when I was practicing dentistry. And other big advantage was like, yeah, constant money flow is there. So that was not there in the clinic. Now constant money flow is there. Now I have started investing also. So those are the positive things for me. And yeah, definitely now permanent work from home. So
Yes,
this is the added thing for me as a mother.
right, absolutely correct. So you see how many advantages you have if you start working in a sector like pharmacovigilance. I'm sure everyone will have their own advantages, but these ones are something which are very common, and especially, as a female, if you want to really expand your horizons, I think this is a very good field that you can start working in. So your last tip or advice for, the dental graduates that they should follow?
See, first thing I will say, please come out of that mindset, like for doctors, no other options are there, or maybe if you feel like, why should we go for some other work which is not related to our dentistry, or investing so many years into dentistry, why to go to some other field? See, it's not any another field, it's all related to your drugs and disease only. So first point is that don't think like it's a desk job or a data entry job, not at all. It's a like it's very high, I mean very decent and good money job. Okay, so please come out of that mindset. Okay, and don't be stuck there, and be open to learn new things. Be flexible, and last thing, believe in yourself. Okay, if you believe in yourself in doing new things, yeah, definitely things will happen. Okay, so yeah, this is the only thing I would like to say.
I think that's a great piece of advice. So you guys have so many take-home messages that you can take from this session. And thank you so much, Dr. Nima, for coming on board and talking about this field, and explaining everything in detail, putting all the information in a very organized manner, so that everyone can get the relevant information about this field, how to get into it, what all kind of courses if somebody has to do, and so on and so forth. So thank you very, very much once again for coming on our channel and sharing all the insights.
Thank you, Shireen. Thanks to you as well.
So, all you audience, thank you so much if you have been patiently listening to our session today. I hope this session was insightful and was helpful for people who want to get into pharmacovigilance, because we had requests from you guys that you want to know how this field is and what kind of work is done in this field. So thank you very much everyone, and before I sign off, please like and share this video, subscribe to our channel, it's absolutely free. I will see you in the next video. Until then, bye and good luck.